I recently came across Bronnie Ware's book, The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying, and I was shocked. I was surprised by how much psychedelics have helped me in regards to all of these points. And that's what I want to share today. Kind of like the benefits of my psychedelic journeys in regards to these 5 points, to these top 5 regrets of the dying. Because it's fascinating. And I love to talk about the benefits of psychedelics. Just as a side note, to be aware, there's many dangers. There's many considerations and pitfalls in working with psychedelics. And we cover all of them here on this channel. So don't worry, but be aware of those. But today I really want to go into this passion of sharing how they have helped me on my journey. And also kind of give you some words of encouragement regarding each of these points and share the lessons I have learned on my journey. And especially point 5 has been blowing my mind in regards to my psychedelic work. So stay tuned for that. By the way, hey, I'm Virgo, and this is Psychedelic Actualization. I love to empower psychonauts to transform their life and actualize their potential through psychedelic integration. If you're curious about psychedelic integration, I wrote a free guide. It's called the 5 Steps to Integrate Your Psychedelic Experiences into Your Day-to-Day Life. You can download it for free. So step number 1, the regret number 1 of people is, I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. And I remember when I first got into psychedelic work, it almost ignited like this rebel in me, this flame of wanting to be independent, wanting to dream big for myself, and then follow through with full commitment on my vision, no matter what. Right? Not to be pulled down by the expectations of culture, by society, by this normal path that everybody is going, but really dare to dream big. Dare to have a great vision, which I'm almost intimidated by. And then go follow through on that. Cultivate the courage. Courage is an interesting word that is coming up in the other points here as well. Cultivating the sense of courage within myself to go my own path, to stay true to myself, to develop this kind of sense of authenticity, right? And staying true to myself also speaks to kind of knowing thyself, right? And that's where the psychedelics have helped me a great deal with. I remember one LSD journey. I was doing this online course, and I was working months on this task of figuring out my core values, kind of things that are truly important to me in this life. And I just couldn't make this list. And I went into an LSD journey with the intention of really honing in and defining my core values of what's truly important to me in this life. And it was perfectly clear for me in that journey. I really felt it in my being, what those core values were. And I got a sense of clarity around this, a sense of clarity around who I am and who I want to be. And this list of values has guided me for years now. It's still so accurate, maybe with 1 or 2 slight twists, but it's still a guiding mechanism for me to even know what being true to myself means. Because it means for me being in integrity with my values and living them fully, aligning my day-to-day behavior and my actions to these values, to really embody them, right? And really just also do not care. Do not care what others think or say. Usually I found others are generally mostly in their own worlds, thinking about their own problems and challenges, right? Way too busy to judge others. But also not care about it. They're through my psychedelic work, I have kind of developed this sense of confidence to say like, hey, if I'm true to myself, if I live in alignment with myself, that's the best thing I can do. No matter what others think or expect of me, because I know it's true in my heart. So, powerful point, for sure. And the second one is, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. That's an interesting one, because I'm in a phase where I'm working quite a lot on my vision, on the things I kind of love to work towards. And I even notice like there's an importance of balancing that out with other things. But this point in the book, it really speaks to the people who are working so much and they're not spending their time really enjoying life. Because most people, and that's kind of the norm, don't even enjoy their job. They don't even enjoy their work. And that's where kind of this principle from Alan Watts is coming in, who also inspired me during and before and after my psychedelic journeying, who said like, don't see it as work, see it as play, right? Playfulness, bringing playfulness into my work, into what I do. And also it speaks to this point of crafting a vision for your life, crafting a path for yourself and a career and a sense of work for yourself that is deeply meaningful and fulfilling. Because nowadays, then the work, it doesn't feel like work anymore. For sure, it's like, it's tough stuff at times, but it's like, it's not, in my perception, what the psychedelics showed me is like really to integrate that notion to see work as play. Like I'm playing with this. I'm playing with you right now. This is fun for me to do this. Like, and I'm blessed to receive back from this through my coaching practice, through my coaching clients. Blessings to you. If you're curious, you can book a one-on-one call, right? But it basically like eradicates that wish that I wouldn't have worked so hard, because it's like every moment I'm working here, it's the greatest pleasure. It's like it's a sense of flow. It's a sense of fulfillment. It's a sense of passion, right? And to really kind of hone in on that passion, stay true to that passion, maybe even discover that passion and transform that into the work that I'm doing. That's where the psychedelics have helped me with. It's basically the foundation of this channel and of my work. It's grounded in my psychedelic work. My psychedelic work is almost like an act of service for me to the psychedelics, because I am so infinitely grateful for what they've shown me, right? Regarding all these 5 points, because they basically eliminated all these regrets, right? They eliminated regret from my life, which is a powerful one. It's not common for people, right? The third one is, I wish I'd had the courage again, to express my feelings. And that's been a journey. Like, it took me a couple of years to really hone in on that point of expressing my feelings. And it's an ongoing journey for every one of us, right? To really practice and learn this sense of communication, honest communication that's appropriate in the moment, to really express your feelings, what's true in the moment for you. I remember I've been holding back a lot in my life. Like, I've been kind of suppressing these feelings, especially in school. I was kind of taught to not express my true feelings, right? Because it wasn't appropriate in that setting. But even afterwards, like in my first relationship, I remember I couldn't communicate my true feelings. I was too scared. I didn't have the courage to say like, hey, I'm not aligned with this, or I'm not aligned with that. Not even the courage to say and express my love in a way that would have been appropriate. And same goes with the passion project. I remember a passion project, a YouTube channel I had before this one. I did with a friend of mine, with my best friend. I had it for like we did this project together and we were shooting videos together for like 10 years since we were children, right? And at one point in my journey, I felt like I wanted to part from that. It was not aligned anymore. But I couldn't express it. I couldn't express my feelings. And that led to like this weird situation, just like almost like a disaster. And then at one point I had a 700 microgram or 500 microgram LSD journey. And it was abundantly clear to me that I had to express my feelings regarding this very important situation for me at the time. And I cried so much during that journey. And the next day I had the courage. I had mustered up the courage from that clarity that I received from the psychedelic journey, which showed me what my true feelings really, really were, which I rationalized away. I had that conversation. And it led to the most beautiful place of him following his passion as a musician now, and me following my passion in the psychedelic space now, because now I can give full awareness and attention into that. It just everything sprang from that one conversation, that moment where I had mustered up the courage to express my feelings. And I found that over the years, again and again, that even in like little moments with people on the bus or with strangers, with friends, with family members, basically when I express my true authentic feelings in the moment, even though it's scary and I'm like, I don't know what comes out of this, I found that things align, like everything comes to a place of harmony, because it is grounded in truth. It is grounded in your own true authentic expression of yourself. And that's powerful. So, yeah, don't regret that. Practice that. Psychedelics helped me a great deal with that. But it's a day-to-day practice, the integration of it, to express your feelings in each and every moment. Powerful one. The fourth one is, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. Powerful one as well. And the way psychedelics kind of helped me in this regard is that in almost every psychedelic journey, when I go in, and I go in like quite frequently, every couple of months maybe, I am reminded of these like basic, simple truth of what's truly important in life. And one thing that is truly important is connection, friends, family. And every time I go into psychedelic space, not every time, but most of the times, it's like there is a moment or a phase in that journey where I'm reminded again how grateful I am to certain people in my life. Like I just feel this infinite sense of gratitude and appreciation for them. And then naturally from that awareness around the gratitude and appreciation for the connections that I value in my life, comes forth a certain sense of energy, a desire to connect with them, to serve them, to give back to them, to even just send a text and say like, hey man, I love you. I really appreciate to have you in my life. I would love to see you again soon. Even if they might be in another country or on another continent. Keeping that connection alive, right? Staying in touch with the people that are truly important to you in your life. It is important, absolutely. And it's so obvious, but it gets overlooked as we engage in realizing our own vision, taking care of our survival, getting to work, right? Buying food. I don't know what else are you doing in your life, right? It's like you get caught up in the day-to-day busyness of your ordinary life, right? That friends sometimes take up a lower priority of that. But this remembrance, that's where the psychedelics come in and really show me again and again how truly valuable my friends are. And this human connection really is. Way more important than money or what is another superficial example? Yeah, accumulating kind of material things or whatever else. Even work, right? can take that place. So big one. And last one, number 5, the 5th regret of the top 5 regrets of the dying is I wish that I had let myself be happier. And this one blew my socks away. Like, I was surprised around this point. Because it's like, to even articulate that feels so powerful, right? I wish I would have let myself be happier. And that speaks to that fundamental truth that happiness is a choice. That happiness is our true nature. And that's where the psychedelics came in and really just honed in on that point for me. Because they made me aware that basically happiness is my essence. Joy, bliss. Like really getting into this sense of the Sanskrit Hindu term like Satchitananda. Consciousness, truth, existence is bliss. Right? That's our nature. That's who we are. And to choose to perceive that is just like, we're free to do that. We're free to let ourselves be happy. It's like, it's ridiculously simple. But it's so hard because we forget. Almost every other second I forget that I can choose to be happy. But then I can remind myself. And some powerful psychedelic experiences really were accelerating that remembrance of, hey, I can love myself. I can appreciate myself. I'm always already whole. I am complete. This completeness is what I am. There's nothing missing right here. Right? It's like the only problem I have is that I choose to perceive a problem. The power of consciousness, the power of awareness. It's so powerful. And the power of perception and the influence perception has on your state of being. Right? This power to be free to choose to perceive a situation in a way that feels good, that feels aligned. That's a lot of the work I do with my coaching clients, is to say like, hey, instead of seeing this situation as a victim, what's the opportunity in this? Where's the learning in this? How is that a win for you? Choosing to be happy. Choosing an aligned perspective on each and every situation. That one really touched me, and it's like just reading and reflecting upon those top 5 regrets of the dying is a good practice to continuously check in with yourself if you're falling into one of these traps, because what this is basically saying and displaying is like traps in life that we can fall into, which lead to regret. And honestly, who wants to live with regret, right? I choose not to. Because it doesn't feel good. So I hope this was valuable in some sense or another. I just had this like overflowing sense of inspiration to share that with you. To share my experience on how psychedelics have helped me in regards to these top 5 regrets of the dying in our Western society. That's the norm, like to wish that you've had the courage to live a life true to yourself, but not the life others expected of you. To wish that you wouldn't have worked so hard. To wish that you've had the courage to express your feelings. To wish that you've had and stayed in touch with your friends. And to wish that you would have to let yourself be happier. That's the norm. This sense of wishing, oh, I wish I've had. Sense of regret. So, don't do that. And you can do that without the psychedelics. This was just like the point of bringing the psychedelics back in, because it's like I was just so blown away by how effectively psychedelics helped me with all of these points. Like, especially with all of these points. So, thank you very much for watching. As I mentioned, download the guide below. And if you're curious about some one-on-one integration coaching, going over all these steps and avoiding those traps, then you can book a one-on-one clarity call with me and we can chat about that. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you all and I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next one.